Howdy, Dad. Started a new video here. I'm continuing work on this door skin, working on the transition to the front fender. You can sort of see here, I've put in this support rib and flange that connects to the front fender. All the nuts are in, the capture nuts. So that's ready to go. I've got a pretty good sort of smooth sweep up that way. And as I was just showing you over here, that bracket fit is just a little bit outside of the door, and that's fine. I'm happy with that. There'll be a lot of adjustments to do going forward, but it's actually in a good place right now. So I know that at least when I attach a door skin or a fender skin to that brace, then it's in the right place. It's able to fit into the bolt holes, and now it's just a matter of doing it upright. Okay, talk to you later. Okay, Dad, what I did here was to take the old front fender and I installed the new rib support frame flange into it and mounted it. You can see that actually is in a pretty good place. And so if I kind of look around here, you can see it's a little low right at the top there because, you know, I'm going to put a door skin over top of that. But if that door skin mounts nice and smooth, and then I should be in pretty good shape. So one of the areas I wanted to just check out was sort of how it was going to sit down in here. So you can see the line of this is not exactly what I want. I want it to be just a little bit inside and then come down and follow just to the inside of that joggle. I still don't know what I'm going to do about sort of how proud that'll be. I think that'll just maybe have to be that way. I don't see a solution to that, but anyways, I just wanted to make sure that I was where I wanted to be, and that looks okay, and so I'm gonna just keep on going. By the way, I did come over here last night and did a little work on Saturday morning, by the way. Did a little work on this door skin. Trying to get this inside turn. There's this upper turn. I had a suggestion to just sort of use a relatively sharp hammer and just put out some blows right on the line, and that sort of helps to stretch on the sandbag. That helps to stretch that line, right at that line, and then you can go in. And I did that, probably had a little blows about every ½ inch or so. You can sort of see them here. I was trying to avoid that to not cause any mars and stuff, but I think I'm resigned to having to do that, and so that I could just get it to turn over. Then I just have a 3/8 inch rod there. I just sort of put across the top, and then I could just, once I had started the brake, and I could put it over the bar and just start to work it over, I could start to get that where I need it to be. It's not quite vertical enough yet, and so I need to do a little bit more of that to try to help me with leverage. And I just clamped this 2x4 across the top here. That gave me the leverage I needed to be able to push that over and keep it relatively flat and straight. So it's coming along, and I think I'll finish at least the shaping of the top part today, and I'll probably get on to doing a little work on the bottom. I'll make sure before I get there, I just need to make sure that it'll fit to the frame okay. I took the frame out, put it on the door to hang it on the door, so a little bit more work to do. Okay, that's the old door skin, the old fender. new support rib. And I'm just mocking up what this is gonna look like when I have that in there. Sort of that blue tape line is sort of where I envision having turning the door, or turning the fender skin over the frame. And I'm just trying to make sure I come out here enough I can have a decent right gap, and then be able to just sort of slightly curve back to get to that joggle. I think I might want it to go a little bit more, but this is getting kind of floppy down there. So, so that's sort of what I'm looking at. It doesn't look too bad. And so I think that's sort of where I'm gonna settle on. Okay, Dan, there it is, sitting on the frame. Again, all I've done so far is just focus on this taper. It now fits well at the end, and it now fits well along here. I haven't done anything to get the right shape there, and nothing to get the right shape down there. But I don't even have any clamps on here right now, and you can see this fits really quite acceptably. So I'm gonna trim the panel. It's got a bunch of excess overhang, and then I'll pull out the wheel, and well, maybe I'll probably do a little bit of work trying to clean up the surface there. The picket's a little marred up. I did a combination of using just sort of light hammer marks, and then this rod hammer. I did some on the sandbag, some on the wood block, just a combination to whatever it took to kind of get the right shape. Every time I tried to bend this one, then this one would open up, and vice versa. So it required that I do it, get the right shape on the big taper, and then hammer in the final shape on the tight taper, or on the tight turn. So anyways, that's sort of where it's at, and after it's all cleaned up, I'll show you where I'm at. Okay, Dan, Sunday morning. Things are coming along pretty good. Spent all the morning doing a little bit of wheeling up and along in here to kind of get that shape right. Lift up any low spots in that process. The big curve looks like it's in good shape. I still haven't touched anything on the main part of the door. I'm sort of stuck now with one little piece, one little bit here. It's about quarter of an inch, just a little too short. So I need to drive this part down and then lift that back up. So I'm kind of grumbling, but everything else is actually pretty strong. But this one here is gonna cause a lot of disruption. I'll have to go backwards to get that down. I'm sort of kicking myself for not having picked up on it earlier, because I was mostly focused on how well it fit on here and getting the angle and so on. So anyways, you can see the line looks okay, and so now I'm gonna go and ruin it by trying to knock it down. So, and but that's the way it goes. Got to get it right. Okay, Dan, that problem actually was solved pretty easily. I just put the sail here on the sandbag and just used blunt wood paddle here to sort of knock that down, and it sort of created a hollow when I did that. But then I put it back onto the wheel and was able to just sort of wheel through here and poof it back to where I needed it to be. There's hardly any pressure on that, and so it's sitting quite nicely, and the other side is in the same boat. You can see I haven't really lost much in terms of the line along there, so I'm pretty happy with that. So onwards. Well, Dad, there's the finished product. Happy with it. You can see it sits nice and square on the floor. Fits great on, perfect on the frame. Everything else looks okay. Next thing I'm gonna do now is to be finished up. I got a million leaves to blow, and so I got chores for today. And to putting this on the frame and starting to turn it will be my job for the next week or so. Hopefully after work project can let me make some progress on that. We shall see how it all goes, and wish me luck. Overall, I'm happier with this particular version. It took me less time, turned out better, turned out cleaner, turned out a better match for the frame, and so overall I'm happy with how all that turned out. So I think the product here will hopefully live up. Talk to you later. Okay, Dad, I've got this ready to start turning. I've got it a good fit all in the frame all the way across. There's no pressure on here, so just a little spring clamp and that comes into place. That red line there is going to be my bend line. Over here, I'm going to do the same. I have to make the flange part a little bit longer here because my fold line is going to be here. Red, go all the way around. You can see I've got this fitting pretty nicely there. It's just laying on there, so I can put a little pressure on that, and that comes up nicely. So overall, I think it's in good shape, and I just hope that I can turn it just right. My plan is to turn this bottom flange just on the bender. And so when you do that, it's not a great bender, and so there's some spring to it, and you get a fairly round turn, but it'll be sharp enough that I won't take it all the way to 90. I'll take it to probably 45, and then I'll just use a hammer and a dolly to work it square and where I want it to be. All these other places I will use a pair of pliers and slowly work that over. The tricky bits end up being sort of this step here and this step over here. When I start turning that, of course, I start turning this in, and there's way too much material when I turn it in, and so I'll have to go in and put some tucks in there so that it can start to come over without distorting the panel. So I'll do this all mostly off of the frame, and then as it gets closer and closer, I'll keep testing the frame, make sure everything's okay, and when I get close to 90, then I'll use the frame. I also went through my stash of these wood pieces. When I had this car, must have come with 6 or 8 of these things in various shapes and sizes, and this was the best one, and it fits just right. So I'll use that one on this vehicle. You can see it's not straight, and so there's a wow there that goes with the shape of the door. So that will help to shape that top sail. So overall, looking good. I'm getting ready to do a little folding tonight, and hopefully it goes okay. Howdy, Dad. Spent quite a bit of time just getting the flange work on this door skin. I've got it loosely mounted to the frame now, and this is sort of my first look. A couple things I can tell is the way it came in. It's a little high or low or whatever you want to call it down in that corner, and it looks like the door's been slightly shifted this way, I guess clockwise, because that corner up here came up and this came up, so the skin needs to rotate a little bit counterclockwise. I'm okay with how this looks down here. Okay, that's coming in over. It's just it's almost a little bit further than I had anticipated. I've been fussing with the line on here. It's not quite right. I'm a little bit concerned about this is just because it hasn't been folded over, but I'm concerned about how before when you open the door, there would be a rub on here. And because I left this corner down here a little further forward, there's also the worry that when you open the door, can't quite see it here, that it will run into the corner down there. So I need to take this off here, but I wanted to see what it looked like, what the lines looked like before. So anyways, it's not perfect, and I'm gonna be messing around with trying to get this area done here. I can move that around quite a bit. It just makes it a little messy when it's all done, but I can certainly move that line over as needed. I just need to know exactly where to put it. I'm gonna see if I can rotate the door in the frame first before I do anything else, and go from there. Okay, Dad, bring you along. Okay, Dad, that's the work of most of today, Saturday. I got it fitting much better. It's still just sort of fit on there with a couple of clamps, but we're getting there. I took off the front fender so I can have better access in here. You can see it's a little ugly up in here, so that's just a problem area. I need to work on that still, but overall the shape and the fit is all good there. It looks pretty decent down in here. I wanted it just sort of in just a little bit rear of this joggle, so that I can bring the front fender to it and get that the right shape. So overall, I think I'm pretty happy with where it's at. So I'm just going to sleep on what the next thing to do is. I'm just trying to get a feel for, I had to make a fair amount of adjustments up in here. And that's better now. I still have a little bit more to do near the top here. But overall, it's a little proud here, but I can't squeeze that onto the door frame. Well, it looks like it's okay here. So, best as it can be, since it's not wrapped around the frame. But, there's just a little bit of a funny wobble right in there. It's not exactly the line that I want, but I probably can do that with just a little bit of welding along that line and shaping. I'm not sure I'll be able to get the door skin fitting exactly how I want it. So I learned quite a bit in terms of how to get the fold to behave. But this area here is just going to be a problem because it's the biggest curve and there's the biggest amount of metal that needs to get moved around there. So, all right, we'll see. It's not sitting on there completely right yet, so we'll tackle the rest of this tomorrow. All right, Dad, gonna finish up for the weekend here. Thought I'd show you what this door skin looks like, where I'm at with it. I went back and I did some wheeling to get all the low spots. So nice, I've come back in good shape. I've got this front edge sort of turned over, it's past 90, so it all slips in. And then the rest is at 90, so it's easy enough to put the frame in and mess around with it. I'm still fussing with this corner in here, and this is a bit of a pain, but overall it's looking good. So you can sort of see how that you can see it's picked up some surface oxidation, and I need to go and clean all that up. Now I'll need to do some painting in the corners here before I put that onto the frame, start turning it over. I'm just trying to rack my head for the last things that I want to do here before I put it on the frame. One of the things I'll probably do would be, I have a 15 mil flange that comes across here and it folds back over this way onto the wood frame. And to help me do that, I'll mark that line, and then I will wheel hard right on the line to stretch it so that I can bend it over and not distort any of the stuff underneath it. And then it just gets pressed into the top of this piece of wood here. So it sits like this, and then there's a lip on the front, and that's where it all goes in. I'll probably go ahead in here and do some repairs on this piece of wood too. Now I'll put in some dowels into these screws and glue them in, and try to get some glue into these cracks here and squeeze it shut, just to strengthen it up a bit so it doesn't crack on me. Last thing I want to do that. Well, it's in there. Well, I want it to be ready when it goes in. It's, after all, it's 60-ish years old, so it's not the strongest anymore, but I certainly know that I'm not, screws have come in and out of those holes a numerable number of times, and so I think it'd be best to just drill them out clean, put in a dowel with some glue, and then chop them all flat, and then put in some fresh holes. Anyways, well, I think I'm gonna end the video for now. Start on a new one this week when I finish up this door, but overall, it's coming along just fine. So, hope you take care, and I'll talk to you later this afternoon. Take care. Bye-bye.